What was the last lie you told me?
I don't think I really tell you lies.
You don't think?
I know I don't tell you lies. When do you feel the most connected with me? I just lied to you right there.
What?
I'm Crystal.
And I'm Julian.
And we've been together for 5 years.
What do you want me to come in for?
5 years. Yeah. And we've been together for 5 years. So we're playing Truth or Drink. It's really simple. I put together some questions and then we're either gonna answer them, or if you don't wanna answer them, you take a shot. Today we're drinking Henny BS.
That dog water.
First shot, cheers. Woo!
That's Henny.
But before we get into questions, I want to quickly mention that it's so easy to look at every relationship from the outside in and think it's perfect. But we all know that every type of relationship can be a roller coaster ride, whether that's with a partner, a friend, or even with ourselves. When I first started dating Julian, I noticed that I started to develop some sort of codependency towards him. And as we grew, I started to realize that wouldn't be the best for our relationship and, more importantly, for my own self-development. Speaking from personal experience, therapy has been a lifeline in my journey in helping me understand myself and also fostering healthy relationships, and I didn't have to do it alone. So I'd like to introduce to you BetterHelp, the sponsor of today's video. You may have heard of them before, but if you haven't, it's an online platform that makes therapy more accessible and convenient. With BetterHelp, you can work on your personal growth while strengthening your bonds. They match you with a therapist who can guide you in building healthier connections and finding your true self. So whether you're in a relationship, working on self-love, or just navigating the complexities of everyday life, consider giving therapy a try. You can click the link in my description or visit betterhelp.com/crystalg to start your journey today and get 10% off your first month. So if you're experiencing the same feelings I felt, know that you are not alone and you can give BetterHelp a try. Now let's get back to the video.
What did you think when you first met me?
When I first met you, you were 2 hours late to our date. You called me and we've never spoke on the phone. And so I was very nervous and I was like, wow, I really like his voice. When you picked me up, you actually came out your Volkswagen. You opened the door for me and I thought you were really sweet. And I was just like, oh, this guy's really nice. How would you pick me up at a bar?
So my Riz is it's always just real casual, and then people just kind of get my vibe or something. Say we're at a bar and then I'm singing the song too. I see you singing the song. And I don't know, I don't know. It'd be real casual. Riz, it's too much pressure. It's going on YouTube. What's something you miss about your last serious ex/situationship? I don't think we've ever asked each other a question like that. There's only one right answer here.
So I've only had situationships. I feel like I've never had real exes. I wouldn't say miss anything about them. If I wanted to make it work, I would have. I knew when I met you, everything that I was worried about when I was with those situationships, every insecurity I've ever had, you've never made me feel that way. So everything that they gave me, you've also given me, and even better. So I don't think I really miss anything about any of my exes. Yeah.
Cop out.
Do an impersonation of me.
I need a situation.
When I see Harlow, when I come home from work.
Hi, Papa. Hi. Hi, Papa, come here. And then Harlow will start wagging his tail. Getting ready. Papa! And then you grab him, and then y'all will walk by me. I don't even get a kiss. What was the last lie you told me? Has there been a white lie?
No, I can't even tell you white lies. Because even when I'm you're oh, did you walk Harlow? I'm yeah. And then I'm no, I didn't.
Yeah, I felt like I could just tell.
Yeah, I feel I'm pretty honest with you. Oh, what is your biggest insecurity?
I'd say my biggest source of anxiety is just trying to well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's an insecurity, But
you don't have any insecurity? The way you look or the way...
I do have one. Yeah, we're gonna take a shot.
Is it your feet?
No, we're just gonna take a shot.
I'll take one with you. Cheers. Wait, off the record, can I know?
Yeah, off the record. Would you hook up with any of my friends if we weren't dating? If so, who?
I'm gonna take a shot. I shouldn't have taken that last shot.
You didn't know a shot was coming.
Yeah, I did not. I'm gonna plead the fifth. Would you have answered that question?
No, I would have taken a shot too. Yeah. And it's people would just have natural attractions to people. Can't fight that. Wait, we don't want to do a top 3? That'd be too toxic. All right, go ahead. Go.
Have you ever thought about ending a relationship? How long ago and why?
I mean, we both know this. during COVID, it was just like just a little bit overwhelming in terms of like a year or half a year out of college. Decided to move together in a studio. No walls, you know. Lockdown, like together, really forced us to like just be like right here with each other. We learn everything about each other that like maybe we don't like or things that we need to work on. In a way, that's a kind of a blessing, you know, to be able to have that. And it's a blessing that we work through that just from, I think, both of us like wanting to try to make it work, you know. What do you think makes our relationship work?
Even though we're playing this game, I feel like we actually like ask each other very tough questions, like on a pretty regular basis. I would say like once a month. Like I'm the type of girlfriend who's like, we're riding in the car and like out of nowhere, I'll like pull out like, so do you still love me?
I think all girls are like that, but no, you'll be like, you'll start pulling out, are we really strangers?
Yeah.
Like bro, we just played that last week. Like I don't want to play that again.
But I do think it's like a lot of like open communication. If there's something that is like truly bothering me, I'm gonna speak up about it. And Julian's like very open to hearing like when I feel some type of way, you wanna hear like how I feel so that it doesn't bottle up and become something more, and you make me laugh every day.
That's all it takes, damn.
No, for real. Ooh. When are we getting married?
All right, you fucking planted that. It's in the cards, you know. I'm not gonna say exactly when. Well, actually, we do have. Never mind. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Cheers.
Cheers.
Do you dislike any of my friends?
I don't. I think I've really grown to really understand why you love your friends, but also I also love your friends. And I feel like they've also become my friends that I had deep conversations with and talked to, so.
That's something that I don't think I've expressed to you really. I feel like I appreciate that about you, that you get along with my friends get along with you.
Which phase of our relationship would you revisit?
So my truthful answer is I feel like the phase that I want to revisit the most is coming up in like a year. You know what I'm saying? Like it hasn't happened yet. But I feel like I could feel our relationship building in that direction where I'm like I just feel really good about everything, like about where you're going, about where I'm going, about what we could build together. But if I had to answer this question, like which phase like would I revisit right now? I'd probably say the beginning. Do any of your friends or family not like me?
No.
Really? Zero? Like truthfully?
Truthfully, not that any have like
expressed to you?
Expressed to me. So if you need to express to me now.
No, it's too late.
If someone offered you $10,000 to never speak to me again, would you take the money?
Hell no.
No?
Why are you?
I'm just kidding.
Change the zeros on that?
One more zero.
Go ahead.
100,000.
Find that. Nope.
A mil. Considering.
Nah, we gonna make a mil.
Okay, I like that.
We gonna make a mil.
Okay.
Just don't keep going, or else I'm gonna take a shot.
$1 billion.
Billy Boys, shout out Billy Boys on TikTok.
I would take that too.
Yeah, I hope you would.
Yeah, there's
100 million, I would take that too.
100 million?
100 million?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
There's like how many percentage?
And then I hope you just, you know, give me a little tax.
100?
100 what?
Dollars.
Have you ever thought about cheating on me? Parentheses, be honest. That's crazy.
Very early on, if I'm being like super transparent, like I think just like us meeting each other so young, but I feel like there's moments where it's like, oh, you know, I could dance with a person and like not tell Julian, which is like a form of cheating, you know, especially if we like hadn't had those conversations prior. Like, have you ever thought about cheating on me?
Kind of like the same thing, right? Like, oh, there's an opportunity. It's just temptation, really, at the end of the day. And that's like a natural human.
Very human feeling. Oh, shout out to Julian's mom for this question.
Did you pick it on purpose? Is my mom?
No.
Oh.
When do you feel the most connected with me? I just lied to you right there, so.
What? That's funny as shit. Well, at least you lied and told the truth, like, right after, shit. I feel like it is in these types of moments, right? When we're like talking with each other, being open, and then like also laying out what we want, what our goals are, and how we can like get there together.
Yeah.
I feel like that's when we're like together, you know. How will we raise? How will we raise? Yeah.
How will we waste? Read it one more time. How will we waste?
It's a hard sentence. It's tongue twister.
How will we waste if we?
How were we? How were we? I need to pause. How were we raised different? How were we raised differently, and has that ever impacted our relationship?
I think we talk about this a lot. I think we've like had the same childhood growing up, like did the same activities, but like had different families around us. Like you've had such a big family from like both your mom and your dad, and like your step parents on both sides, and so like you were raised around like going to family parties a lot. Whereas like it was just like my parents, like my mom, my dad, me, and my brother. And I think, you know, growing up, it was really hard for me to connect with my parents. And how I see you interact with your family has impacted me in like a huge way, because that makes me want to also be very open with my parents, like no matter how hard it is. Last question. Oh, that's a good question. Why do you love me?
Those sound like vows. No, I love you because you showed me like just what love could be, and I'm lucky that I found a partner that is on the same page as me. You know, we just vibe with each other, especially when we're alone, which I feel like is what matters the most. You make me laugh. I think you're beautiful. You also hold me accountable and like want to push me to be the best person that I could be. And so, like, what more can you ask, you know? All right.
But that was the last question. Finished up. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Love you. Bye. And you're watching Disney Channel. Shot? Baby shot.
No,
One more. You already broke your cleanse, so might as well just get drunk together, you know?
Fuck it. Cheers, baby.
Now we cook drunk, and that's another video.
Let's do a mukbang.
The after party.